They don't just own homes, they own worlds. From mountaintop mega mansions to floating island palaces, today's billionaires are building private estates that defy your imagination. These aren't just places to live, they're fortresses of luxury and security. Join me, I'm gonna count down 15 incredible billionaire estates. Let's start with number 15, Palazzo Diamore, Beverly Hills, California. Tucked in to Beverly Hills, California is a property that represents the pinnacle of ultra-luxury real estate in the United States, Palazzo Diamore. It spans more than 25 acres of prime Southern California land and has over 50,000 square feet of living space. It's not just a home, it's a private resort, entertainment complex, and trophy asset all in one. It was built by real estate investor Jeff Green. This estate once held the title of the most expensive listing in America, with a price tag of $195 million. Damn. The main residence includes 12 bedrooms, 23 bathrooms, and a dining room that can seat more than 30 people beneath a ceiling adorned with gold leaf. The living spaces are drenched in imported marble, Venetian plaster, and hand-carved woodwork, reflecting a level of opulence that leans into the theatrical. But the main house is only part of the story. The estate also has a guest villa, a dedicated entertainment complex with a ballroom that doubles as a full-scale nightclub, a 50-seat private movie theater with professional-grade acoustics, a state-of-the-art bowling alley, and of course a revolving dance floor. Who doesn't want one of those? There are commercial kitchens for large-scale catering, a full-service spa, and a separate staff quarters to house the full-time personnel. Outside the property includes tennis courts, a waterfall-fed swimming pool, reflecting pools, a Moroccan-inspired spa retreat, and carefully terraced gardens, of course. Sculptures, fountains, and floral designs all dot the landscape, accessible by a private road that winds its way through olive trees and hedges taller than most single-family homes. Perhaps most impressively, despite the scale, Palazzo Diamore is a private residence, not a hotel or even a public venue. Everything about this estate was built with the intent to either host lavish parties for hundreds or offer complete seclusion to one person. From above, it looks like a luxury resort more than a personal residence. The long winding driveway leads through carefully segmented groves to the terracotta-roofed main mansion. It's easy to see why this estate was once marketed as the crown jewel of American residential real estate. Massive, self-contained, and unapologetically extravagant. Number 14, the Mesa Vista Ranch in Texas. Deep in the plains of the Texas Panhandle lies one of the most staggering estates ever assembled in the United States, Mesa Vista Ranch, formerly the home of the late oil tycoon T. Boone Pickens. Sprawled across more than 64,000 acres, an area nearly the size of Washington, D.C., this is less a home and more of a self-contained private kingdom. Pickens began assembling the property in 1970 and originally was a personal retreat for quail hunting and solitude. But over the next 4 decades, he gradually transformed Mesa Verde into one of the most advanced and personalized ranches in the world. At its heart is a 33,000 square foot main residence clad in native stone and designed to blend into the surrounding landscape. Inside, vaulted ceilings and panoramic windows frame the endless plains, while fireplaces, fine leather, and Western art give the home a luxurious yet grounded identity. At its peak, the estate employed a full-time staff that included wildlife biologists, game managers, pilots, chefs, engineers, and ranch hands. The facilities here are maintained to a level akin to a national park, with miles of paved roads and custom-built steel bridges providing year-round access. Mesa Vista was designed not just for beauty, but for function too. The ranch has its own energy grid, a fire suppression system, and even its own helipad and fueling stations. When the estate was put on the market, it carried a price tag originally listed for $250 million, one of the highest-priced ranches ever offered. But to Pickens, the real value wasn't in the luxury or the infrastructure. It was in what he had created, a fully functioning, self-sustaining sanctuary in one of the most remote locations in America. From above, it looks like a green and blue oasis cut into the arid brown patchwork of the Texas Panhandle. Long irrigation lines stretch like veins across the landscape, and the main residence, airport, and cluster of lodges form geometric patterns amid the scrub and farmland. Mesa Vista resembles a carefully engineered habitat, equal parts wilderness, luxury, and legacy. Number 13. Gemini in Palm Beach, Florida. Situated on a barrier island in Palm Beach, Florida, and spanning more than 15 acres across both the Atlantic Ocean and Lake Worth Lagoon, Gemini is one of the most iconic estates ever built in America's tropical playground. Originally commissioned in the 1940s and later reimagined on a massive scale by the Ziff publishing dynasty, Gemini combines Gilded Age glamour, oceanfront seclusion, and architectural rarity into one jaw-dropping compound. The main residence, a 62,000 square foot mansion that fuses classic Mediterranean revival style with bohemian influences, pale stucco walls, barrel tile roofs, and a series of breezeways, create a structure that appears less like a mansion and more like a private coastal resort. But Gemini isn't just about a single home, it's about the entire environment. The estate includes over 1,200 feet of Atlantic beachfront and extends all the way across the island to the Intercoastal Waterway, offering two distinct waterfront experiences. Across the compound are several guest houses, of course, a 7-bedroom carriage house, a PGA-grade golf practice area, and a botanical garden with over 1,500 species. There's also, of course, a tennis court, basketball court, greenhouse, and a saltwater swimming pool surrounded by coral stone patios and palms. The estate is guarded by a high-tech security system with multiple layers of surveillance, and all key access points are monitored and reinforced. But what makes it unique is how it maintains a sense of calm and isolation despite being in one of the most high-profile neighborhoods in the country. Famous billionaires and public figures live just down the road, but Gemini's landscape buffers that, with dense tropical gardens, tree canopies, and strategic architectural setbacks. From above, it looks like a private park that was stitched into the coastline. The main house runs parallel to the ocean like a spine, while the estate's private roads and gardens create visible symmetry within the perimeter walls. It appears less like a home and more like a perfectly balanced island, divided between sea and sky, privacy and spectacle. Number 12. Villa Leopolda, the French Riviera. Perched high on the cliffs with sweeping views of the Mediterranean Sea, Villa Leopolda is a property so steeped in legend, scandal, and extravagance that it's become a symbol of the old world wealth along the Côte d'Azur. Spanning nearly 20 acres of prime Riviera coastline between Nice and Monaco, this masterpiece is one of the most expensive private estates in the world, and it is one of the most beautiful. Originally built in 1902 by Belgium's King Leopold II as a gift for his mistress, this estate has passed through the hands of some of the most powerful people in modern European history. Over the decades, its guest list has included everyone from Charlie Chaplin and Elizabeth Taylor to Bill Gates, and it served as a backdrop for films, diplomatic meetings, and billion-dollar negotiations. The main residence itself is a 29,000 square foot villa that blends French Renaissance and Italianate styles. With the symmetrical yellow facade, green shutters, and expansive marble terraces, this building is instantly recognizable and impossible to forget. Each bedroom suite feels like its own wing of a royal palace. The estate includes multiple guest houses, of course, a commercial greenhouse, a helipad, 2 partridges and a pear tree, and a swimming pool overlooking the sea, and security features so discreet you'd never know you were being watched. Villa Leopolda's notoriety reached new heights in 2008 when Russian billionaire Mikhail Prokhorov attempted to buy the property for a reported 370 million euros, only later to withdraw from the deal and forfeit a $39 million deposit. But from above, the villa looks like a crown that rests on a terraced emerald pedestal. The elevation and seclusion become instantly apparent from above. There's simply nothing else like it along the French coast. It's a mountaintop fortress, a secret garden, and a billionaire's Eden, visible only to those who think to look down from above. Number 11. The Blossom Estate in Palm Beach. Alright, we're going back to Florida. Stretching across 4 contiguous oceanfront parcels along Palm Beach's Billionaire's Row, Blossom Estate is one of the largest privately owned waterfront estates in all of Florida. Owned by billionaire hedge fund titan Ken Griffin, this estate is part of a growing portfolio of trophy properties that he's assembled across the U.S., but Blossom stands out for its scale, location, and ambition. Originally, it was acquired in pieces. Griffin began purchasing individual mansions and lots on the South Ocean Boulevard around 2012, and eventually he amassed over 8 acres of uninterrupted beachfront land with more than 500 feet of direct Atlantic frontage. At the center of the property is a newly built mansion of about 25,000 square feet, designed in a clean, classical style with arched colonnades, imported limestone, high ceilings, and sweeping ocean views. Surrounding the main house are multiple auxiliary structures, guest houses, service quarters, and climate-controlled garages for a luxury car collection. The estate has its own private beach access with a gated dune path, of course. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Blossom Estate isn't visible from the street. It's the scale of privacy that's engineered into the land. Griffin planted massive hedgerows and installed strategically placed palms and berms to completely obscure views from the neighboring properties. The estate is more than just a luxury residence, it's a geopolitical statement. Griffin's acquisition of such a large area of Palm Beach real estate has fundamentally altered the layout of Billionaire's Row. But from above, it looks like a perfectly arranged sanctuary that's pressed between the ocean and the symmetry of Palm Beach's inland canal network. The bright blue pool and open-air cabana form focal points in the backyard, while the wide driveways and rear access roads hint at a logistical planning on par with a luxury resort. It's dominant. It's like a chessboard of wealth that was carved into one of the most expensive slivers of land in America. Number 10. Mount Nicholson Estate, Hong Kong. On one of the most exclusive ridges on Hong Kong Island, Mount Nicholson Estate isn't a single home, it's a cluster of ultra-luxury villas and apartments. It's located on The Peak. This area has long been known for its views of Victoria Harbor and its appeal to the ultra-elite, but Mount Nicholson pushes that prestige to new heights. Individual homes in this enclave have sold for more than $100 million apiece, making it the costliest address in Asia and among the priciest anywhere on Earth. One of the most famous sales in Mount Nicholson happened in 2017, when a pair of adjacent apartments sold for a combined price of over $149 million, setting a per-square-foot record at the time. The residences include private gardens, panoramic terraces, swimming pools, and state-of-the-art smart systems that control lighting, air quality, and security. The Peak is one of the few places in Hong Kong where noise pollution, street-level congestion, and any high-rise claustrophobia disappear. From these homes, residents enjoy clean air, sea breezes, and 270-degree views over the city, harbor, and mountains. Ownership here is a symbol of sovereignty, a silent display of financial power with no need for Instagram tours or press interviews. From above, it looks like a geometric slice of tranquility that was carved into the green slope of the peak. The steep hillside location gives each structure an open, cascading orientation towards the harbor, which glows at night, in contrast to the estate's soft ambient lighting. Mount Nicholson looks like a fortress in the clouds, visible only to those high enough to see it. Number 9. Chateau Louis XIV, France. In the wooded suburbs just outside Paris stands a modern palace so convincing in its historical accuracy that it even fooled architectural historians, Chateau Louis XIV. Completed in 2011 after 3 years of secretive construction, this 56,000 square foot masterpiece was commissioned by Saudi billionaire Mohammed bin Salman and built to appear as though it had existed since the 17th century. But behind its Baroque facade, it's a mansion packed with futuristic luxuries and hidden technology, making it one of the most opulent billionaire estates in the world. Built on a 57-acre estate, the chateau features traditional elements like stone balustrades, symmetrical wings, fountains, moats, and manicured lawns, but it's all newly made, from the limestone facades to the gold leaf-encrusted interiors. Inside, the mansion has 10 bedroom suites, a grand ballroom, multiple salons, and galleries adorned with ceiling frescoes, antique furniture, and crystal chandeliers. But seamlessly hidden throughout the estate are smart home technologies, a transparent elevator, surround sound systems, climate control panels disguised as period decorations, and an underwater room beneath the indoor swimming pool. There's also a gold-plated wine cellar, a private cinema, and an aquarium room with live sharks. Chateau Louis XIV has been widely discussed in the media, particularly after it was reported that it became the world's most expensive home in 2015 when it was quietly purchased for over $300 million. Its mix of historical opulence and modern stealth wealth has made it a unique icon among billionaire residences. But from above, the limestone rooflines and ornamental gardens form a mirror image from left to right. The reflecting pool cuts a straight axis through the estate, leading the eye from the mansion's central dome to the edge of the forested property. From above, it's hard to believe that Chateau Louis XIV is newer than a smartphone, and it looks like it's been ruling the countryside for 400 years. Number 8. Corby Hall, Sydney, Australia. Overlooking Sydney Harbour with amazing views of the Opera House and Harbour Bridge, Corby Hall is the ultra-private waterfront compound of Australian billionaire James Packer. Though better known for his former crown jewel estate La Mer, Corby Hall is named after the original home on the site, and it's undergone such extensive redevelopment that it's now one of the most expensively located private homes in Australia. Built into the cliffs at Point Piper, the estate is carved into multiple terraced levels descending from the street level to the private marina. It's got a fusion of brutalist architecture and luxury coastal styling. This house blends in seamlessly with the landscape, which stands in stark contrast to the more traditional mansions in this area. Inside, it's got more than 20,000 square feet of living space, including multiple open-plan living rooms, a private cinema, wine-tasting lounge, art vault, recording studio, my personal favorite, and a 2-level wellness spa complete with cryotherapy chamber. But one of the coolest features of the estate is the multi-deck outdoor entertaining space. This design includes cascading pools with infinity edges, outdoor kitchens with retractable awnings, and a waterfront fire pit lounge. But as seen from above, it's a gleaming shard of glass and stone that's etched into the hillside, surrounded by some of the most expensive real estate. And the curved marina cut into the stone appears like a private sea gate. Corby Hall looks like a sculpted outpost on the water's edge, both fortress and theater. Moving on to number 7, Palazzo Stein in Johannesburg, South Africa. Set in the heart of the ultra-exclusive Stein City development in Johannesburg, Palazzo Stein is South Africa's most opulent private estate. Owned by billionaire businessman Du Stein, founder of the insurance empire behind Compare the Market, this palatial residence sprawls more than 3,000 square meters or over 32,000 square feet of Italian-style architecture. Completed in the early 2010s, Palazzo Stein is a visual homage to Renaissance Italy, with imported Italian marble, hand-cut stone columns, and a grand central courtyard. The driveway is lined with palm trees and ends in a circular motor court crowned with a tiered fountain. There are more than 10 bedroom suites here, a banquet hall that seats 100 people beneath crystal chandeliers, an indoor spa complex, and a private nightclub. Security here at the estate is a world leader. Entire Stein City complex is gated, of course, patrolled by private forces and monitored via drones. Perhaps the most remarkable part of the estate is how it blends into a larger vision. Stein City isn't just a neighborhood, it's a billionaire-designed city, featuring private schools, golf courses, equestrian trails, heliports, restaurants, and security so extensive that it operates more like a sovereign microstate. From above, it stands out as a white citadel surrounded by water and lush landscaping. The blue-green lake curves around the back of the property like a protective moat. The entire property appears like a modern-day Versailles, extracted from history and dropped into the heart of Africa. Number 6. Rancho San Carlos, Montecito, California. In the rolling hills above Santa Barbara, Rancho San Carlos is one of California's largest private estates. It sits on 237 acres in Montecito, a playground for tech moguls and Hollywood royalty. Originally, it was built in the 1930s by one of America's wealthiest banking families. This estate has since become a crown jewel of West Coast luxury. The centerpiece is a 30,000 square foot hilltop mansion designed in a stately colonial revival style. Its 30 rooms include massive salons, wood-paneled library, a grand ballroom with arched windows, and a dining hall with hand-stenciled ceilings. Wide verandas wrap around the house, leading to rolling lawns, tiered rose gardens, and fountains fed by natural springs. But beyond the main residence, the estate has 12 guest cottages, stables, a ranch manager's home, and multiple barns. The estate is surrounded by a natural ridgeline that forms a visual and physical barrier from nearby properties. Once inside, the silence and solitude feel more like an aristocratic countryside retreat than a coastal California estate just 90 minutes from LA. From above, Rancho San Carlos is a patchwork of forest, farmland, and elegant geometry. The citrus orchards appear as perfectly ordered rows, and the stables and arenas form equestrian shapes just below the house. The acreage of uninterrupted land here makes it one of the most dominant properties in Southern California from above, a private kingdom hidden in the hills. Number 5. The Pinnacle, Big Sky, Montana. In the Rocky Mountains of Montana, inside the Yellowstone Club, the world's most exclusive private ski and golf resort, sits the Pinnacle, a mountaintop mansion owned by billionaire timber and real estate magnate Tim Blixseth. With over 53,000 square feet of living space and amazing views over snow-capped mountains, it's not just a winter retreat, it's a fortress of wealth designed to blend into its surroundings. Built in the early 2000s, the Pinnacle is the flagship estate within the Yellowstone Club's 15,000 private acres. It was designed to reflect the rugged elegance of Montana's wilderness. The central great room includes 30-foot ceilings, a roaring fireplace made of hand-cut granite, and panoramic windows that frame the ski slopes. The Pinnacle includes 10 bedrooms, multiple dining areas, a full-scale gym, a wine cellar carved into the rock, a beauty salon, massage rooms, and private screening theater. But one of the coolest features is the indoor-outdoor swimming pool, which snakes through a stone grotto and emerges onto a heated, snow-covered patio. Security and logistics here are top tier. The Yellowstone Club itself is gated and guarded year-round, accessible only to approved members. The estate has panic rooms, thermal perimeter sensors, and backup power systems capable of operating off-grid for extended periods. But from above, it appears like a remote angular shape that was pressed into the side of a forested mountain. Snow-covered most of the year, the structure emerges like a castle of ice and wood, dominating the ridgeline without ever disturbing it. The Pinnacle is a mountain lair in the truest sense, secluded, fortified, and frozen in absolute luxury. Number 5. Niyama Private Villas in the Maldives. While many billionaire estates take the form of palaces, penthouse, or mountaintop mansions, a growing number of ultra-high net worth individuals are redefining luxury. Among the most extraordinary is the Niyama Private Villas complex in the Dalu Atoll of the Maldives. That's a series of interconnected over-water and beachfront estates designed for those seeking total seclusion. It's a world-class area literally surrounded by crystal blue. At the heart of the estate is a series of multi-bedroom residences, many of which can be fused to create a multi-villa mega-compound. The main owner's villa includes over 5,000 square feet of indoor living space and more than 8,000 square feet of exterior decks. The interiors are designed with hand-polished teak wood, Maldivian coral stone, and Italian marble, combining tropical ease with high design materials sourced from across the world. But one of the most incredible features of this estate is the underwater restaurant and lounge, Sub 6, which is accessible via private speedboat and elevator descent. Inside, the dining room glows with marine lighting, and it's surrounded on all sides by glass walls, which shows off the coral reefs. Billionaire guests can also take advantage of a modular security system, and while the Maldives does not allow for foreign land ownership, long-term exclusive leases can extend for decades, effectively creating a private kingdom over the water. The discretion, beauty, and programmable isolation of Niyama has made it a top-tier private estate, not because of its street address, but because of its location beyond streets altogether. From above, the overwater villas stretch out into gentle arcs from the atoll's sandy spine, each with its own sun-deck pool and shaded canopy. The villa clusters form geometric patterns that stand in contrast to the organic shapes on the reef. And from above, the estate is less like a home and more like a constellation anchored in the sea, isolated, radiant, and entirely self-sufficient. Number 3. Fairfield, Sagaponack, New York. In the heart of the Hamptons, America's most elite summer playground, sits Fairfield, one of the largest private residences in the U.S. Occupying 63 acres of beachfront property along the Atlantic Ocean in Sagaponack, New York, this 110,000 square foot mega estate is the personal retreat of billionaire industrialist Ira Rennert, founder of the Renco Group. Construction of Fairfield began in the late 1990s, and it immediately attracted media attention due to the unprecedented scale, cost, and the environmental impact. The main house alone spans over 62,000 square feet, making it one of the largest privately owned homes. It contains 29 bedrooms, 39 bathrooms, 3 dining rooms, multiple elevators, a formal ballroom, and a 91-foot-long formal living room with ceilings taller than most churches. The property also includes a 10,000 square foot power plant built directly into the services estate, and this self-contained utility hub powers not just the main residence but also several guest houses, indoor and outdoor pools, a bowling alley, 2 tennis courts, and 2 squash courts. But beyond the structures, the estate includes gardens and private access to the beach, all protected by an extended dune system and a custom-built seawall. A half-mile-long driveway loops around the property, connecting various facilities and leading to an underground garage complex. But despite the scale, Fairfield remains incredibly private. What is known is that the estate operates with a full-time staff, including groundskeepers, security teams, hospitality personnel, and service managers coordinating logistics. From above, it dominates the surroundings like a landed aircraft carrier. The symmetry of the main mansion, with the central dome and those winged extensions, are immediately visible. The grid-like plantings and geometry of the tennis courts, gardens, and pathways are visible even at low resolutions. And from above, Fairfield doesn't just appear large, it looks engineered, deliberate, and sovereign, like a floating city that's anchored into the dunes. Number 2. Villa la Sedra, France. Along the Mediterranean coast of the French Riviera, nestled on a rocky promontory that juts into the sea between Nice and Monaco, lies one of the most opulent and botanically rich private residences, Villa la Sedra. Originally constructed in 1830 and expanded in the early 20th century by King Leopolda II of Belgium, this palatial estate spans over 35 acres of prime coastline. At its core is not only a grand villa, but a personal Eden of botanical gardens, royal history, and architectural perfection. The main residence covers 18,000 square feet and rises 3 stories above. The pale yellow facade is marked by shuttered windows, wrought iron balconies, and a colonnaded veranda overlooking the Med. There are 14 bedrooms, each decorated in a different motif, one in Louis XV style, another with Italian Renaissance flair, and yet another in English pastoral traditions. But as stunning as the villa itself is, it's the grounds that truly elevate this place into legend. The gardens are among the most celebrated private botanical collections in Europe. It includes more than 14,000 species of tropical and subtropical plants, many of which are found nowhere else on the continent. Hidden among the terraces and greenhouses, over 24 in total that date back to the early 20th century. Pathways wind through the cypress alleys and citrus groves, past rose gardens, lily ponds, and statuary fountains, all imported from Florence and Rome. In recent decades, the estate has passed into the hands of the Marnier-Le-Postel family, known for producing Grand Marnier liqueur. The villa served not only as a private home, but as the site of a rare botanical research and cultivation of bitter oranges used in the company's signature blend. In 2016, it was quietly listed for an asking price of 350 million euros, which at the time made it the most expensive residential property in the world. But from above, Villa la Sedra appears as a lush emerald peninsula that's wrapped in a necklace of olive trees and stone terraces. The symmetry of the garden stands in sharp contrast to the surrounding wild forest, and satellite imagery reveals long gravel paths that form circuits around the greenhouse clusters. The estate reads like a botanical crown, its brilliance quiet but undeniable, its roots royal, and its isolation absolute. Number 1. The Odon Penthouse in Monaco. Above the glittering skyline of Monte Carlo, the Odon Tower Penthouse is one of the most extraordinary residences ever constructed. It's suspended more than 550 feet above the Mediterranean. It's located at the summit of Monaco's tallest skyscraper. The 5-level penthouse spans over 38,000 square feet. With a private rooftop pool, panoramic glass walls, a spa, and a water slide curving from the upper floors directly into the pool, this penthouse is not just one of the world's most expensive homes, it's one of the most fantastic. Completed in 2015, the 49-story tower rises to a height of about 557 feet, making it the tallest building in the Principality and the highest residential structure on the Mediterranean coast. The penthouse, which crowns the entire tower, occupies the top 5 floors, and it's believed to be worth more than $300 million. It includes 5 massive bedrooms, several grand reception rooms, a state-of-the-art kitchen, private staff quarters, and more than 10,000 square feet of private terraces and outdoor space. The centerpiece of the penthouse is that rooftop deck, which includes a circular infinity pool that's cantilevered out over the edge of the building. But this deck also features open-air dining areas, garden terraces with climate-controlled planters, and a heliostat lighting system that adjusts the mood and temperature depending on the time of day and the season. Each level of the residence is connected by a private elevator and an internal lift, and all systems, lighting, climate, security, blinds, and entertainment are controlled through a building-wide smart system. The home also includes staff areas with separate entrances and movement corridors, allowing for complete discretion and service-level management. Tour Odeon itself is not just a residential building, it's an elite vertical resort. Residents have access to 24-hour chauffeur fleet, a private health and wellness center with cryotherapy, but for the owner of the penthouse, this ecosystem becomes a private kingdom in the sky. From above, it rises like a crystal pillar above the red roofs and coastal curves of Monte Carlo. The penthouse is clearly visible. Its circular rooftop pool shimmers like a sapphire. At night, the building glows in segmented bands of white and blue, and the rooftop lighting forms a distinct halo. The residence is unmistakable, an airborne palace hanging above the world's most exclusive coastline, like a jewel in the sky.